So here we have to discuss the different types or different methods of aquaculture which are being conducted by people in various parts of India or in other parts of the world. So this is one type of aquaculture, that is a mariculture. Mari comes from the word marine. Marine means sea. So mariculture means marine fish culture. That is basically what is mariculture. So it's a branch of aquaculture that cultivates marine organism either in open ocean or in an enclosed portion of the ocean or tanks or ponds filled with seawater. So in all cases we are cultivating or we are rearing marine fish and we will be using seawater. So these are the two fundamental features or primary basic features of marine aquaculture or mariculture. Here you can see that these are large cages made up of plastic net, and the fish will be kept inside the cages, and this is the sea water. So there is no need to replace the sea water. Just like in aquarium we have to replace the sea water, or we have, for example, if you go and down the aquaculture pond, that we are using a small filter there. The water is constantly filtered and resupplied into the pond. So here there is no such thing. We are using the natural sea water. The sea water will be constantly moving, so that always a new sea water will be present inside the cage. So that is some of the advantages of mariculture. We are either cultivating in a certain enclosed portion of the sea water ocean, or we are using some kind of tank or cages filled with the sea water. Now here finfish like flounder and whiting, maybe I don't know how we may, I will show you how flounder or whiting is appearing. So this is the type of fish that is present in the name flounder, and there is another type is whiting. Whiting also I will show you. So this is the type of fish that you can find in the use of whiting. So these are some of the fishes which are commonly cultivated using mariculture. Then shellfish like prawns. Prawns have a shell, you know that. Then oyster. Then sea plants like a kelp. Kelp also you may be aware it is a large plant like structure plant. So these are the kelp. Here you can see that these are the images of kelp. See, so these are all kelps. Okay, so these are the type of either fish or plants. We can both cultivate marine animals as well as plants like kelps and seaweed. These kelps and seaweed are also used as a food for human beings. If you go to Japan, Japan is very popular in Japanese people are very interested in utilizing these marine plants. They are growing seaweeds, and they will be preparing a lot of curries using these seaweeds. So just like we are cultivating using chira or spinach, they are actually using these kind of sea plants or kelps or seaweeds for preparation of various types of curries. Then mariculture products are also used in cosmetics, jewelry such as cultured pearl. Then fish meal is there. Fish meal means basically a product used for as a feed. This is the no. This fish meal is a different type of fish meal. Fish meal fertilizer. This is what is mean by, see. So utilizing the, this is the fish meal. Okay. So utilizing the remains of the fish that will be grown as a food or feed for various other groups of animal. So that is known as a fish meal. So these are some of the features of mariculture. Here also you can see how the mariculture is being implemented in various parts of the world. Then other is alga culture. Now coming to the alga culture, we if you look at the term alga, you know what is an alga. Then it is you are cultivating alga, then we call it by the name alga culture. And here we can find two types of alga, microalga. Most of the phytoplankton, microphytes and planktonic alga are coming under microalga because they are very small. Then macroalga, and macroalga is what we usually use, referring to the seaweed, or I will show you some alga culture. Here also you can see that this is how the alga may be cultured in various seas. So this is actually a culture of alga. You can see that alga may be cultured. What is alga? See, this is an alga culture. So alga can be utilized for various food products. That's why they are utilizing this alga. See, here also you can find alga culture. This is another method of utilizing alga culture. So in whatever techniques, either we are cultivating smaller alga or micro alga, or we will be cultivating larger alga called macro alga. And depending on the size, we can cultivate a lot of macro alga, and they are also used as food products. Here also you can see these are all macro alga. So this is regarding the alga culture. So advantage is that there is not much investment is needed. Alga will be easily growing. Even without any care, the alga will be growing very fast and very easily. We can cultivate alga. But in Kerala, but in India or in India, we are not utilizing alga as a food. But if you go to the South Asian countries, especially Japan, Thailand, Vietnam, Korea, if you go to that part of the world, we can find that they are utilizing this sort of alga as a food. Now the third is the freshwater aquaculture. In the case of freshwater aquaculture, the difference with the seawater aquaculture is that in the case of other one we are using salt water. Here we have to use fresh water. So fresh water will be present mainly in our inland rivers. So if we are using a fresh water like this water, we are calling it as a freshwater aquaculture. And many economically important fish are utilized are grown using this kind of aquaculture. Impoundment means some kind of enclosing. There is a meaning with impoundment or some kind of wall. So then third is brackish water aquaculture. Brackish water is water that is actually a mixture of fresh water and sea water. So where the sea water will be meeting the river water, the salt content of the water will be different. It is less than that of sea water, but more than that of the river water. Here you can see that. So in this area, the sea is coming here, river is coming here, and merging with the open sea. Here also, this is the open sea, and this is the river water. So in this area, the salt content of the water will be different from that of either fresh water or that of river water. It is in between sea water as well as river water. So there are some kind of fishes which will be growing only in such water, which has a lesser salinity than that of sea water, but more salinity than that of, for example, our karimid, pearl spot. Pearl spot is a fish growing in especially brackish water. So such type of fishes can be easily cultivated in brackish water. So that is the advantage of brackish water culture. Here also you can find milk fish. Then latest calcarifer, mugil. Mugil means kanamba, that is it. Then prawns, mussels. And these are some of the fishes which can be cultivated and using this kind of brackish water. Then we will be using several like cages. Earlier we have seen that these are the cages which are utilized for brackish water aquaculture. Either rectangular cages or circular cages will be utilized. So in case of brackish water also we will be using this kind of either cages or pens. Basically pens, I'll show you the picture of pens in aquaculture. See, this is how the pen aquaculture. See, this kind of technique is known as the pen aquaculture. See, this is the technique they are using in pen aquaculture. See, so this kind of approaches, basically it is not very much different from the cage culture. We are also using some kind of cages, but the technique is popularly known by the name pen aquaculture. Here also you can find we will be utilizing some kind of closed area or enclosed area, and and we will be cultivating our fish inside that closed area. Here also you can find. So this is the technique that we are based. It is almost similar to what is happening in the case of cage culture. So that is the peculiarity that we are finding in. And then rope culture. Rope culture also I will show you, because there will be some, especially rope culture is utilized in case of mussel culture. See, you can see there will be long ropes, and here you can find that. See, this is the best example of rope culture. We will be utilizing some ropes like this, and mussel will be attached to that. Here you can see this is the best example of rope culture. See, these are the ropes falling down, and mussel will be growing in these ropes. So this kind of technique is known by the name rope culture, and the more rope culture is primarily employed in case of growing mussel or mussel culture. Also here also you can find. So this is the technique that we are utilizing in the use of rope culture. That is also a type of brackish water. Then many types of crabs like mangrove crab, Scylla serrata. Maybe you might be knowing this Scylla serrata. It is a very popular crab, Scylla serrata. It's a very common frog. See, this is the Scylla serrata. Okay, so this common frog is known by then. It can be either green in color or it can be orange in color. So it's a very common crab that is present in our area. Also, this is the Scylla serrata. So in the use of Scylla serrata, also we are utilizing this brackish water aquaculture, and for growing this. Here also you can find these are the different lattice calcarifer baramundi. That is the name of the fish, baramundi. It's not popular in Kerala, but in other parts of India this is popular. Then you can also find another approach in brackish water aquaculture. These type of areas are very common in our area. If you are coming from Vaikam or Cherthala area, you will be aware of all these things. So that is the then mangrove crab. Mangrove crab also I will show you a picture. Mangrove crab, if you go to mangrove areas, you can find this mangrove crab. It is also a common type of crab. See, this is the type of crab that you see. This type of crabs are present in many mangrove areas. So not a bigger frog, a bigger crab, a smaller type of crab, and that is known as a mangrove crab. So because they are mainly seen in mangrove areas, that is why we call it the name mangrove crab. Then, so these are then bamboo cages. Bamboo cages also I will show you. This bamboo cage in aquaculture. You can see that. That is bamboo cage. See here you can see that they are making this bamboo cage. Okay. So it is a cost effective, not a very expensive method. So they are taking some bamboo poles and they will be putting the net. See here also you can see that. So so we don't need to spend a lot of money on that. So that is the advantage of bamboo culture. So bamboo culture is also a popular type of culture. Popular type of culture present in many parts of the world. Here also you can find. So these are all bamboo culture. See, basically there will be an enclosed net and fish will be growing in that, and this cage will be introduced into an either open sea or in a brackish water area or in a river water area, and fish will be growing inside the cage. So that is the principle of growing fish in a cage culture. Then the next is metahaline culture. In case of metahaline culture, the salt pans are utilized for fish culture. So metahaline means mainly high salt content. The water is of high salt content. Mainly the culture of brine shrimp. Brine shrimp also you may be knowing this brine shrimp. This is the brine shrimp. This is the known as a brine shrimp. Here you can see that brine shrimp. See, so in case of brine shrimp, they will be grown. These are the salt pans. You can see that. So salt pans means small rectangular area where seawater will be kept for some time. I mean, seawater is evaporated, salt will be formed. So that is how we are producing salt in, if you go to Tuticorin or in Dandi area of Gujarat. In many parts of the India, salt is produced. What people are doing, there will be these table sized large pans will be there. Seawater is kept there, and after several days, seawater will be evaporating, and there will be a layer of salt on the soil, and that will be collected and purified. But so here it is red in color because they are growing this brine shrimp. Brine shrimp is red in color. That is why when brine shrimp is growing in these salt pans, the color of the water will turn into red. So this is the brine shrimp. It is a deep red color. When so many brine shrimp are growing together, the color will turn into a. This is the brine shrimp. So it can be also utilized as a food, just like our prawns or shrimp. So that is a peculiarity of brine shrimp aquaculture. Then the Noplia of Artemia. Artemia is also brine shrimp. So in the case of this metahaline culture, the salt salinity is more than 200%. High salt content is there. Then this advantage of this that mainly this is a culture used for growing Artemia or brine shrimp. Only those kind of animals or organism can be cultivated in such high salt content. So this is the brine shrimp. Then we have the cage culture. In the case of cage culture, already we have explained how a cage will be looking like. So in this culture, the fishes are held in a section of water, either in flowing water or in a big impoundment. Impoundment means enclosure. Just like a box, it is known as an impoundment. The fish are imprisoned or in a cage made up of galvanized steel wire with a nylon meshes or simple bamboo frames with split mats. We have already seen that. The cages are of various size, and the commonly used is around 10 square meter. That is the size of the cages. Here also you can find. So these are the different types. In any cage, sometimes we will be making these poles using bamboo. Then it's known as a bamboo cage culture. Then nowadays aluminium is used because aluminium is lightweight and it can be utilized again and again. So that is the advantage of utilizing aluminium. So then plastic is also utilized. So these are the recent development, but earlier also people are using cage culture using these bamboo ropes, etc. So here you can see that this is another method. So they may be utilizing some aluminium or steel poles will be there so that it will be retaining there for a longer time. So this is the technique of cage culture. Advantage of the cage culture is that Only thing we don't need to introduce any feed, food or other things, because the sea water will be bringing enough food. The cages will be of slightly larger size, so smaller food items can enter into the cage, but fish cannot go. So the size of the cage will be slightly larger, so that smaller food items can enter into the cage, but fish may not be able to grow. So this is the features of the cage culture that we are seeing in the case of culture. So these are some of the various methods which are employed by people in various parts of the world. So these are an example of what are the different types of aquaculture that we are seeing. So that's the end of the different types that we are seeing in the case of aquaculture.